Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by thick, whispering woods, there lived a blind boy named Rowan. Though he had never seen the sun or the stars, he was far from ordinary. Since birth, Rowan possessed a gift that no one could explain. He could see the world through the eyes of animals. When Rowan was very young, he discovered this ability by accident. One day, sitting near the river's edge, he felt the faint brush of a dragonfly's wings on his hand. Suddenly his mind filled with a kaleidoscope of shifting blues and greens, and he saw the rippling water, the glint of sunlight, and the rustling reeds through the dragonfly's eyes. From then on he learned to call upon this gift at will, borrowing the sight of creatures nearby to navigate his world. Despite his gift, life was not easy for Rowan. The villagers, though kind, saw him as different. They didn't understand how he moved through the forest without fear, or how he avoided obstacles as if guided by an unseen force. He kept his secret close, fearing that people would see his gift as strange or unnatural. Each morning Rowan would sit by the edge of the woods, waiting for the rustle of feathers or the skitter of tiny feet. A robin might lend him its bright, darting vision, or a fox might share its keen, ground-level gaze. Through their eyes he saw the tall oaks swaying in the breeze, the shimmer of dew on grass, and the winding paths of the forest that humans rarely tread. But one fateful day something changed. A dark shadow began to spread over the land, creeping from the mountains beyond the forest. It wasn't a shadow of clouds or the coming night, but something colder and hungrier. Plants withered where it touched, streams dried to cracked beds, and the animals fled deeper into the woods. Rowan sensed the fear in the creatures around him. The birds flew higher and farther, the rabbits burrowed deeper, and even the wolves, with their unshakable courage, prowled uneasily. Rowan knew he had to act, for the shadow was heading toward the village, and no one else could see it coming. He ventured into the heart of the forest, guided by the eyes of a hawk soaring overhead. Through its keen vision, he saw the shadow stretching like black ink, seeping into the earth. Rowan followed the hawk's path, stepping carefully through tangled roots and over streams. His heart pounded, but he pressed on, feeling the forest's urgency. The hawk led him to a clearing where the shadow coiled around an ancient tree. The tree, once tall and proud, was now twisted and blackened, its leaves falling like ash. Beneath its gnarled roots lay the source of the shadow, a dark pulsing stone, smooth as glass and radiating cold. Rowan knelt by the stone, unsure of what to do. He felt the animals gathering around him, deer peering through the trees, squirrels chittering nervously from branches, and crows circling above. Their fear was palpable, but so was their trust. Closing his sightless eyes, Rowan reached out with his mind, connecting with the creatures around him. Through their eyes he saw the stone from every angle, its surface slick and dark, its glow like a dying ember. He called upon the strength of the bear, the swiftness of the stag, and the cunning of the fox. Each animal lent him their essence, and together they formed a plan. With the talons of an owl, Rowan envisioned the stone being lifted from its place. With the claws of a badger, he saw the earth beneath it being clawed away, and with the keen senses of the wolf, he detected a faint rhythmic vibration like a heartbeat growing weaker. Rowan knew what he had to do. He reached out his hands, guided by the vision of the creatures, and touched the cold surface of the stone. A chill ran through him, but he did not let go. Instead, he focused on the warmth of the animals surrounding him, their presence a steady pulse of life and light. The shadow resisted, curling tighter around the stone, but Rowan held firm. The animals pressed closer, their collective will flowing through him like a river. Slowly, the darkness began to wane, retreating like mist under the rising sun. The stone's glow faded, and with a final surge of strength, Rowan lifted it from the ground and hurled it into a deep, rushing stream nearby. The moment the stone sank beneath the water, the shadow dissolved, leaving the clearing bathed in golden light. The ancient tree straightened, its branches unfurling with fresh green leaves. The animals let out a collective cry of relief, a chorus of chirps, howls, and rustles. Rowan sat in the clearing, exhausted but filled with a deep sense of peace. He felt the animals' gratitude as they returned to their homes, and the forest hummed with life once more. When Rowan returned to the village, he did not speak of what had happened. But from that day forward, the villagers noticed a change. The animals of the forest seemed to watch over the boy, and the woods, once daunting, now felt welcoming and alive. Rowan lived the rest of his days quietly, his secret known only to the creatures he had saved. And though he remained blind, he saw more beauty and wonder than most could ever imagine, for he had glimpsed the world through the eyes of those who shared it with him. And so the boy who could not see became the guardian of the forest, his story carried on the wings of birds and the whispers of trees, forever part of the world he loved.